joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Morning. My name is Joan Kessner, and as chair, I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation for Tuesday, October 14, 2025. I would like to thank Debbie Royce for putting our meeting together and recognize the board members that are here today: Leslie Zemsky, Sam Capitano, Dan Castle, representing county executive, and our county executive here, Brian Whitman, county lighting, and our president, Mark Wendell. Thank you all for joining us. I'd like to note for the record that this meeting is being webcast, and we welcome the public comment on today's agenda items. I will note for the record that the public was given the opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by 9 a.m. today. And I'd like to state for the record that we have one comment, but it's nothing to do with the agenda. It was received, and I also note for the record that we do not have members of the public attending today's meeting. The directors have received the relevant written materials in advance of today's meeting and are free to ask questions at any time. Before we begin with the substantive portion of the meeting, I would like to ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the agenda items. If so, I would ask you to please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time. We will then be sure that you recuse yourself from a discussion or vote regarding such item. Anybody has any conflict? No conflict? Noted for the record. Hearing none. Our first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the directors' meetings of June 23rd, 2025 and July 14th, 2025. Is there approval? Any comments on them? Brian? You approve? You approve? Yep. Second? Sam? All right. And no comments? Deletions? I will. Okay, we entertain. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now I'd like to call on Mark Wendell ECHDC's president, to present the two items on today's agenda. Please start off with the authorization for the corporation to enter into a contract for construction management services in connection with the Buffalo Cruise Terminal project. Mark, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair Kesner. This is an exciting next step for the cruise terminal that we've been discussing about. If you recall, the ECHC board approved a design team in June 2025, and that design team has been working on site analysis and starting the program and siting portion of that project. Now we're talking about the selection of a construction manager. On July 18, 2025, ECHC solicited bids for a Buffalo Cruise Terminal construction management firm in the New York State Contract Reporter. A total of 7 proposals were received on or before August 14, 2025. An evaluation committee then reviewed the proposals and determined that Buffalo Construction Consultants met all of the requirements of the RFP and provided the best value for the proposed scope of work. This contract shall run from October 2025 through July 2027. Buffalo Construction Consultants is a construction management company headquartered in Buffalo. They were founded in 2017 by 2 experienced industry professionals, Joe Manarino and Will Mahoney. BCC has managed complex construction projects throughout Western New York and Central New York. In addition, they recently oversaw the completion of our Gateway building within Canal side. Buffalo Construction Consultants shall represent Erie Canal Harbor Development throughout the pre-construction, construction, and post-construction process. As I mentioned, our design team started the design work, and it's important to have our construction manager now on. They'll be providing some constructability review of the documents. They'll start working on assessing the permits required for this early on. They'll help manage the budget for the project. They'll also then help with the RFPs for bidders that will go out hopefully in spring of 2026. They will then take on the responsibility of overseeing construction for us until the project is completed, hopefully by what we're planning on July of 2027. So Buffalo Construction Consultants will be our point of contact to oversee this construction element through the completion of design, through the RFP process for bidders, and then through construction until completion. And more importantly, also helping us secure permits as well as a certificate of occupancy at the completion of the project. They will also have any additional services include third-party inspections they'll be engaging in, whether there's geotechnical testing required, concrete testing during construction, any kind of welding, steel that might be a requirement as well. This contract will cover fees and expenses in the amount not to exceed $920,023. That includes a base fee of $766,685 with a contingency of $153,338. As stated before, the project will begin in October and expected to be completed by July 31st, 2027. Funds for this project are designated within the Division of Budget. Also, during a review by our Office of Contractor Supplier Diversity Policies, this contract will have an MWBE participation goal of 30% and an SDVOB participation goal of 6%. During the environmental review, this was determined to be a type 2 action. It is not a project, it is oversight and services being provided. At this time, the requested action is for the board and the direction to determine responsibility for the proposed consultant and authorize the corporation to enter into design contract or construction management contract with Buffalo Construction Consultants for the amount not to exceed $920,023, which is a base fee of $766,685 and a contingency of $153,338.
Thank you, Mark. This is the beginning of a great project. I'm so excited. Are there any questions or comments from the directors with regard to this item?
Buffalo Construction is competent. They're really, really good. Enjoyed working with them for years.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I confirm exactly what the Director Captain said. We have a good relationship with Buffalo Construction. They're doing some projects right in the county. Certainly a question or projection regarding that. I just was wondering, do we have any initial drawings from the design team or expectation of the cost for the actual construction, what the building will cost to construct?
Well, they're currently in site. We're awaiting the first estimate. When we get that's one of the important things, getting the CM on there. We have a budget allocation for that, but we're waiting for the CM to get on board and start looking at the site preparations. We do have all the initial reports completed of the seawall construction. We started geotech analysis and started doing some siting. We have been working with the customs people, but obviously there's been some government shutdown. We want to get some programming with the customs people as well. So the CM will be, once they're on board, we'll provide the analysis for the budget.
Considering the term runs through July 27th, so it would be expected that the building would be completed. That's post-construction too. So should we expect to actually have that construction estimates and be going out to bid for contractors?
We expect to go out to bid in spring of 2026, and we're targeting April, May of next year.
Any other questions? Yes, Connie?
Thank you. I just want to make sure that long-term maintenance is included as part of these fees, where it's being considered right from the very beginning instead of as an afterthought.
Well, the maintenance fees are worked into our current agreements with our landscape and.
Not only landscape, but
No,
building.
and building management.
Okay.
They'll be part of our, what we currently have contracts with. And also these customs will be part of the solution, will be part of it.
Okay, but it is being considered right from the very start
Yes.
with design. Okay.
Any questions? As noted, we do not have any comments from the public with regard to this item. I'll now entertain a motion for approval. So moved. Second?
Second.
Ann? All right. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you. The motion carries. Mark, please continue to present the final item on today's agenda. A request for the corporation to amend its contract with the Buffalo History Museum relating to the Erie Canal bicentennial visitors experience at Canal Sign.
Thank you, Chair Kesner. If you recall, back in November of 2024, we entered into an agreement with the Buffalo History Museum to provide the management and operations of our Waterway of Change exhibit located in the Long Shed. They provided hired staff, they provided the cleaning and daily maintenance and outreach to the public, as well as public tours, guiding us through seeing well over 30 to 40,000 visitors in this past year. Attendance. They've also helped us with the management of the exhibits, and they brought their own artifacts to be displayed in that exhibit. So this is an amendment to continue on with the Buffalo History Museum. They, after reviewing the time and staff that was utilized in the first year, this amendment for the next 2 years, so we go through 2026 and 2027. There was some adjustments. We met with them to see how the staff could be doing. It's mostly a lot of part-time staff, 11 to 12 part-timers and a couple of full-timers that will help oversee the ticket allocation, which will still be free, but management of the app, the retail portion, having docents available for both the guided tours as well as the bus tours. We currently have school tours booked all the way through April of 2026 right now. So they continued with the educational outreach as they will have that on staff, as well as bringing in and maintaining. They are responsible for cleaning and maintaining the exhibits, not just both in the long shed, but they also do tours and maintenance of the arches, the thresholds we have outside. So it's not just inside, but they also go out on the outside portion of it. And so this is a contract to kind of things. They're also responsible for all the supplies in this contract. So all the additional postcards we have to print out and buy for that, the cleaning supplies. So that's all falls under this contract. I should also note that this contract is not to exceed. So it's billed. The fees will be released based on their time spent. So as the years go, throughout, if they don't need as much staff, we're only being billed for staff being utilized that day. If they determine that it's a slow day, the staff. So I just want to make sure that this is fees that cover the maximum use, but there could be adjustments and savings as the year goes on. So the contract term, as I mentioned, is for the next 2 years. It runs through into December of 2027. It's for a 2-year amendment. The total scope of work is $686,028.62. As I mentioned before, the fee and the payable release based on the percentage of work that is completed. And as I mentioned, I went through the scope of work of educational, retail management, and cleaning and everything as well. The Office of Contractor and Supplier Diversity has reviewed the project and determined that the MWB and SWB participation goals will not apply to this project. Also, I should note that environmental type 2 action, there's no permanent impact on the environment. It's a service they're providing for us overseeing the management and operations of the exhibits. So at this time, I asked the corporation to designate the Buffalo History Museum, continue to designate the Buffalo Museum as our experience and operation manager, and authorize into a amendment for the next 2 years. That is a total of $686,028.62, which is a not to exceed amount, and their total contract now is revised up to $1,399,028.62.
Very busy place. Thank you, Mark. Are there any questions or comments from the directors with regard to this item? Yes, County Executive?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm wondering, was this ever RFP with regards to other organizations? Because there are quite a few other history-related organizations in our region, as well as cultural institutions that have history putting on successful programming.
There was not an official RFP with the involvement of the Buffalo History Museum with the setup of our history exhibits and participation, and they're bringing forth some of their own materials that were going to be on display in the launch exhibit. We felt that with their history of having to run the History Museum, there was a contract report exemption completed to allow for this as an individual source of their continued operation, both as an extension of the Buffalo History Museum and their staff. So their longevity as a museum operator of the Buffalo History Museum led us to, and the fact that they're overseeing the operations and familiarity with the exhibits, since they have their own exhibits of interaction, that kind of familiarity of maintenance and contact was felt that was a service that was unique and could be applied with the Buffalo History Museum.
Is there any plan with regards to America 250? Because we're finding out in a number of situations as we go into next year is that there seems to be a lack of moving forward with a plan to highlight is to be a celebration of the 250th birthday of our country, or are we just sort of ignoring that
No,
with regards to the exhibit? And secondly, it's someone who's had to deal with history museum for time, including the financial difficulties that they had in the past. Are we confirming that they have the wherewithal to do this for the next 2 years? And finally, what is the long-term plan? One thing I think we all agree, conversations I have with people at the History Museum is when you go to a History Museum, you have the same exhibits that are there year after year after year. People don't want to return back to see the same exhibits year after year after year. So are we, what's the long-term plan post 27? And do we feel that it really makes sense to have the same exhibit on display for years? And that only means that less and less people will probably come and see it if it's not new.
Well, a couple things is that for the 2025, we are starting to look at plans. There is, Governor Hochul has 2025 celebration commission for across New York State. So we will be in contact with them to talk about the availability of Canal side to be part of that celebration. So we're starting to work and starting the plan for the 2025 celebration. As far as the interior exhibits, that's one of the things that we think with the Buffalo History Museum having a variety of exhibits. They already have an outreach to the University of Buffalo, who did the archaeological dig at the Marine Drive apartment. So they have found some artifacts, and we're looking to bring in some of the artifacts there. They've also kept some questions from attendees that how we can add some maps or for the canal to kind of help update and refresh the exhibit by providing some information that were questioned. So we're not going to wait till 2027. We're looking to engage the Buffalo History Museum to help with some updates through the exhibit starting next year. And then beyond that, I think we'll have to see how the exhibit's going, if there's going to be a refresh for 2027, so we're going to get through 2026 and 2027. But there are going to be some updates, both through Buffalo History Museum and our design team that we hired to kind of add some refreshment, fresh ideas, and to make it, I guess, as you mark, updated for a little bit.
Anything else? Anything else? All right. As noted earlier, we do not have any comments from the public with regard to this item. I will now entertain a motion for approval. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. And now there being no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? Yes, County Executive.
Chair, thank you. Two things. Number one, I want to thank the members of the Erie Canal development team for working with the county folks. We have a community day at Canal site scheduled for Saturday, October 25th. From 11 to 2 p.m. at the Bruins. We've had exceptional response. We are David Wojciechowski from my office, who's basically in charge with the historical commission, for those of you who don't know. There will be new historical markers that will be placed that day at the canal as a result of the work of a lot of folks to actually get them approved from the city, from the organization that is donating the canal markers. We are working with the library. We're going to have a birthday party for Sal the Mule. 200th birthday party for Sal. We don't have a mule yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the son's mule. But the mule is very old and blind. I figured we're not going to kill the zoo's mule. So we have a draft horse, which I have learned. Now is first open draft horse. These draft horses when the canal was first open. But they stopped using draft horses because they supposedly have no peripheral vision when you fall and walk into the canal. So we are going to have a draft horse. We will not be close to the canal. We'll be further away. The library will be there. Visit Buffalo Niagara. We're providing cupcakes for everyone to celebrate the birthday. Other organizations. I just want to invite everybody for this free event. I appreciate thanking the Harvard Development Corporation for the work on this. I've been watching what's happening with the Senate chief going down the canal, and it's really a celebration in every one of those communities because they would not exist without the
Absolutely.
And so looking forward to the 25th. And that's a good thing. And then the second thing is I was driving down here, I once again see no work. I was just by. And it's my understanding Heritage Point, and I know it's not your fault, Mark, but this is just kind of an ongoing saga. It's like Groundhog Day all over again. Every time we hear that they're about to close, they don't close. So the latest.
I will tell you that we are in communication with them daily, and right before the weekend, all closing documents have been prepared. They are coordinating the signature time, financial stat the way it is. They're just waiting to get lined up this week for the signatures on the closing documents, and once those are finalized, then work will resume. So I'm hoping to follow up with them again today. I did not do preparation of the board meeting this morning, touch base with them, but I know that as of Friday, all documents have been prepared by all the various attorneys that are involved, and now they're waiting for a signing. I don't know if it's a signing party or signatures to be taking place sometime. But once I hear that, I'll.
Steve, our attorney, you can verify that we're working with them daily and pressing on this project as best as we
I
can.
would say it's more than daily.
All right, so
Yearly?
we are,
No, I mean, years. Yes, I've already had 2 calls on it today, so.
terrific. So we are doing what we can at our end, and we'd like to see it start as much as you do, County Executive. So absolutely, thank you for bringing that to our attention. And thank you for the invite. This sounds exciting. And I was down at the Canal event that we had, and there were thousands of people. It was really well received by those interested in the canal, but from our citizens as well. And I'd just like to point out for the record that more people came in through here than Ellis Island. It just baffles my mind that happened. So we have every right to celebrate that event in our district, so. All right, so again, thank you, and we're going to close this meeting. Do I have a motion to close this meeting? Sam, second. Leslie, all in favor? Opposed?
How you doing?
Thank you to everyone for participating in today's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.